Gone as far as I'm going to go on this one. So today I'm going to be working on putting the electronics in on this base. I've gone as far as I'm going to go on the finish. Not to say I couldn't go further, but it's where it's going to be for this project. So let's get to soldering it and screwing all the pieces on. So this is fairly straightforward. The hardest part is going to be, I think, this ground wire right here is like exactly the right size, and it's a tight fit under here. Getting it to there, so you know I can't really pull this out while that's in there. So I think that I have more wire, and if I have to, I'll get rid of this piece and use a bigger piece, but I think I can make it work. So what I'm going to do is have to solder this. So it's going to be one to the top, one to the second one, and then the third one is a tone, you know, the tone capacitor and everything. So it's not really a neck pickup, but you know, forward pickup, a bridge pickup, and tone, and that's all wired up. It came like that. So I'm going to wire these on. And then, as you can see, I've got plenty of wire. You know, I can always put this where I need it to be. You know, I can get as much wire as I need to wire it up, and then set it all in place, and then run that wire up in. So I'm going to solder these on here. Let's get the show on the road. Okay, those are on there. Thanks for bearing with me. So now that the soldering's all on there, I really want to get this kind of like roughly where it needs to be. Specifically because of how this ground wire is functioning. It's short. Alright, so there is all I'm gonna get out of it. It's hard for you to see probably because it's black, but only like a little bit sticks out of the hole here. And then get these pickups set up the way they need to be. This is kind of tedious. Alright, so I'm going to get these pickups screwed in and we'll see where we're at. Now before we get too far, we like to plug it in and make sure that the pickups are working, right? So that way we know it's going to work before we get it all put together. So that's what we're doing now. And I'm going to go ahead and put this pick guard on. So that I can position these things in the right place. And I actually think that it was the same size screws for this piece, so I'm just gonna give that a shot. Use these black ones to kind of have that whole offset color scheme going on. Now I'm not tightening them all the way in, so I can pull this plastic off and so I can align everything up right. Now I'm going to be putting the bridge on, and I just want to make sure there's enough wire coming out of here, because that you don't connect it in any way. You literally put the bridge right down on top of that piece of wire, and you smush it down there and it does its job. Gotta find these holes. The guy on the Fender website, YouTube channel, said to put the middle screw in first. And if you'll notice, I'm using a screwdriver. Okay, you don't want to use electric tools on stuff like this, because it's just too much of a risk, not just of slipping and stripping something out, but slipping and gouging the finish or anything like that. Alright, so I'm going to get this bridge on here, and then we'll finish cranking this down. We'll get the neck on, we'll get this baby together. So I'm getting ready to put this neck on, and I'm excited because, I'm nearing the end, and I forgot to do this on every single other part of the guitar. And I'm not going to do it here on the neck. I'm not going to forget. I bought this stuff just for this. I'm going to do it. I'm going to wax the screws. I'm going to use chapstick. That's what I saw a different guy use and like that. So I'm going to wax up the screw here with some chapstick. And get this bad boy on here. Cold is kicking my butt, man. About bedtime. Alright, so I'm gonna get this peeled, everything tightened up, and the strings put on, and then we'll be doing a tester. But here we are, so far, basically where we want to be. Thanks for sticking with me.